You were robbed this morning. Not by a thief, not by a scammer, by a system so ordinary, so embedded into daily life, that most people will go their entire lives without ever noticing it happened.
You woke up, checked your balance, maybe paid a bill, maybe bought a coffee, normal morning, nothing suspicious. But while you did all of that, quietly, invisibly, wealth moved away from you towards someone else. Not because you did anything wrong, because that is exactly how the system was built to work. My name doesn't matter. What matters is what I am about to show you. This is Money Mechanic, and from today, we open the machine. We are going to break down the systems behind money, the debt architecture that runs the global economy, the way banks create money most people do not realize. Nobody taught you how money actually works. Not your parents, not your school, not your university, and definitely not your bank. That blueprint was designed for a world that no longer exists. It was designed for a world where a single income could buy a house, where a pension actually covered retirement. Most people think money is a thing, a coin, a note, a number on a screen. But money is not a thing. Money is an agreement. It is a collective belief shared by billions of people simultaneously that a piece of paper represents value that can be exchanged for goods and services. In 1971, the United States removed the dollar from the gold standard. Before that moment, every dollar had to correspond to a physical amount of gold held in a vault. After that moment, money became something different entirely. It became a number, a promise, an idea backed by confidence, rather than a commodity. When a bank gives you a loan, it does not reach into a vault and hand you money that already existed. It creates new money, right there, in that moment. Every mortgage, every car loan, every business overdraft, every credit card balance. Each one is not just a transaction, it is an act of money creation. That is where the $315 trillion global debt figure comes from. The world owes 3 times more than it earns in an entire year. That is not recklessness. That is not governments going on a spending spree. That is the system operating exactly as designed. Debt is not a bug. It is the engine. So here is the question nobody asks loudly enough. If debt is the engine, who owns the engine? The people who benefit from a debt-based economy are the people who hold assets. Because debt inflates the value of assets. When interest rates are low, borrowing is cheap. When borrowing is cheap, more people take out loans. When more money chases the same assets, property, stocks, businesses, prices rise. And the people who do not own assets? They borrow to survive. They take on 30-year mortgages just to have a place to live. They carry credit card balances at 20% interest. They take out student loans before they are old enough to understand what compound interest does over 2 decades. And they spend the most productive years of their lives, their 30s, their 40s, not building wealth, servicing debt. This is not a moral failing on their part, it is a structural outcome. The system is not broken, it is working precisely as designed. This is not a moral failing on their part, it is a structural outcome. The system is not broken, it is working precisely as designed. Because a system that quietly extracts wealth from the majority can only sustain itself if the majority participates willingly. And they do. We all do. The credit card did not become dominant because it was the most financially sensible. It became dominant because it separates the act of buying from the act of paying. Handing over cash hurts, you feel the loss immediately. But swiping a card? The pain is abstract, delayed, easy to push to the back of your mind. The loyalty points, the cashback offers, the premium card upgrades, each one carefully designed to make borrowing feel like a reward, to make debt feel like a tool working for you. There are 2 kinds of debt: consumptive debt, borrowing to fund things that decrease in value, and productive debt, borrowing to acquire assets that generate income. The wealthy almost exclusively use productive debt. Most ordinary people, through no fault of their own, primarily use consumptive debt. That single distinction explains more about the wealth gap than almost any other factor.
You cannot change a system you do not understand. But once you understand it, even partially, you start making different decisions, quieter ones, longer ones, smarter ones.
That is what Money Mechanic is for. Subscribe, turn on notifications, share this with one person who needs to hear it. And we are just getting started.